This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
Welcome to the Barbados Today Evening Update for Wednesday, March 18th. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening. Our top story. She has 3 sons, 2 of whom have recently been released from jail. And today, Elfreda Lily Polin is claiming that her 3rd son, 26-year-old Polin, who is currently an inmate at Her Majesty's Prison Dodds, has been badly beaten by authorities.
The person called and said that they put the wall and beat up my son very bad. And then he called back, he had to talk with her and said they almost back his neck and said they didn't charge you. That's this about it.
So what? You're afraid? You don't know what you're trying to contact him?
Yeah, I contacted some person since Monday night and nobody never get back to me.
When Barbados Today contacted the superintendent of the prison, John Nurse, he was unavailable to give a comment. The trial of A Nation Publishing Company Limited's publisher Vivian Ann Gittins, editor-in-chief Roy Morris, and a senior journalist Sanka Price opened today in the District A Magistrates Court. The trio, who appeared before acting magistrate Alliston Seal, pleaded not guilty to a charge of showing an indecent photograph of 2 minors. The charge stems from the publication of a picture of 2 school children having sex in a classroom on the back page of the October 26, 2013 Saturday Sun. Price was the author of the article, which was accompanied by the offending photograph. Meantime, Barbados Today understands that the police chief, Tyrone Griffith, has handed over the file on Sunday's fatal shooting of 57-year-old Selwyn Knight to the Director of Public Prosecutions, Charles Leacock, for his attention. This follows a public apology issued by Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite in an exclusive interview with Barbados Today yesterday. Brathwaite describes the shooting as unfortunate and says he's sorry for the anguish and pain currently being felt by members of the Knight family. Just yesterday, Jamal Amal Skeet was remanded to prison for 2 years after appearing before a local magistrate and confessing to the burglary of the Knight's Dash Gap, a bank called St. Michael home, just before he was killed and his son Junior was shot in the back by a police officer. Barbados Today also understands that the officer responsible for the shooting is now on leave and undergoing counseling. Now to the latest from Parliament. St. John MP Mara Thompson is calling for a new primary school to be built to replace the now defunct Society Primary. And she says she has already identified several areas in her constituency where a new institution can be built. Thompson claims that even though Society Primary is part of the island's heritage, the school was in a state of disrepair and that the St. John Primary has little room for expansion. She suggested that the student body of both schools could be accommodated in a modern structure like that of the Blackman Golla Primary School in St. David, Christchurch. Meantime, opposition MP for St. James Central, Kerry Simmons, wants government to put measures in place to address the stigma attached to vocational schools in Barbados. Simmons charged that the island's economy and the education of Barbadians will continue to fail if that is not changed.
We were at a stage where people were still experimenting with the first 1 or 2 or 3 schools. That is a fact. So don't tell me we have destigmatized it. If it was at the forefront, every school in Barbados and all of the blocks so-called in my constituency would have opportunities for young men and women to go and say, I am here, I want to be trained so that I can have a skill. I can be accredited so that I can go out there and hold up that accreditation paper. Whether I'm a plumber, a welder, a carpenter, a mason, a butcher, baker, or candlestick maker. Hold up the paper so that I can have an equality of opportunity with the lawyer and the doctor and the engineer so that I can move my services not only around Barbados but into the wider Caribbean.
In sports, Pan American Insurance Warrants slumped to their third successive defeat in the Barbados Premier League competition, going down 68-58 to defending champions Orange Three Pylons at the Windley Gymnasium last night. The results moved Warrants' record to 0-3 after losses to the Schoolboys and the Station Hill Cavaliers, and left them firmly at the bottom of the standings. In the night's first game, the Cavaliers blew open a close contest in the second half on their way to routing the combined school Tridents 157.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
To news from the region, we head to Trinidad and Tobago, where a 4-member tribunal is now in place to probe the finances of former minister and ex-football boss Jack Warner. More in this report from TV6 News.
Two men who are no strangers to one another. Retired Justice Sebastian Ventor has been sworn in more than once during his time on the Integrity Commission. Now he takes the oath to head a 4-member tribunal, the first of its kind, incarnated by the President at the request of the Integrity Commission. The tribunal will delve into Jack Warner's financial affairs, looking for possible breaches of the Integrity in Public Life Act. An exercise the tribunal chairman says will be conducted discreetly.
The tribunal will be conducted in privacy. It is not like the ordinary commission of inquiry, although the powers are the same. We will be conducting the investigation in privacy.
With privacy paramount, he was reluctant to divulge what powers of investigation his team now has. The tribunal's mandate is to verify the contents of the declarations of income, assets and liabilities and statements of registrable interests of Mr. Warner for the years 2006 to 2011.
And finally, on the international scene, the death toll in the Tunisian museum rampage climbs to 22. 20 of those killed in the gun attack were foreign tourists. Italian, Spanish, Polish and German citizens were among those killed, as well as Tunisian and a police officer.
The eyewitness accounts that we're getting are quite confusing. There are people who are saying that people dressed as security forces entered the museum and took people hostage. We've also seen these very dramatic pictures of foreign tourists running for safety and trying to escape the museum. And we also understand that at the same time there was confusion. Some people reported gunfire near the parliament or even inside the parliament. The parliament was then evacuated very quickly, more quickly than the museum, and then the security forces who had surrounded the building, surrounded this Bardo area as it's called, entered the museum.
That's our Barbados Today evening update, but you can join us again tomorrow morning. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 online TV, as well as Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. To have a great evening.
This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? #sexy.